Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I am Dale, and welcome to the table where we do tarot. And we have our stack of cards here today. They seemed like the ones that were calling out to me from my little card holder over here. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. But what I want to actually start with, I forgot about this. I was just like throwing stuff out and cleaning and things like that. And I noticed these things, they were on Christmas gifts from my sister. And so I wanted to read them because um there was like this one in particular caught my eye. So take delight in the Lord. He will give you the desires of your heart. Psalms 37:4. All right. So that's one. And then this was the one that really caught my attention. Generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. I don't know if it doesn't seem grammatically correct. Generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. But I think that is the point. And no matter how you're feeling inside, no matter what you are going through, you need to always check in with yourself and try to be at the highest frequency that you can when it comes to how you interact with others. Because it's like, sometimes that's the push that we need when it comes to not when you're stressed out about something or things aren't going well with a relationship or a job or a project that you're working on or kids or anything. It's like you might have an area, it's like this sort of shadow area in one part of your life, and what can happen is that can bring everything down, and it's like you have to believe in something. And I think that one of the best beliefs to have is that love is the way to do things always. Okay, always, always, always. And sometimes it's really hard to be just the most loving version of yourself, because that's sort of like what we got punked out for when we were younger. It's like, why can't you just be the most pleasant person ever to everybody who lives in the same house as you, or to everybody at work or whatever? Basically, it's like to anybody who you see on a regular basis, you are more honest about who you are than to strangers, right? So when people kind of put on this front of like, hi, when you're feeling like crap inside and you were just like fussing with your family or whatever, it's like, so we have the ability, we have the capacity within us to be able to put on a face of like happiness. It's like, it is your face, it is your words, it is your voice, it's you, okay? Though there might be other parts of you who don't feel in alignment with that outward projection, but that's kind of the point of the outward projection, is that if you keep interacting in that positive way that feels like it's put on, right? It's like, what is the term for when we don't think that we belong where we are? It's like, hang on. Okay, I was referring to imposter syndrome, right? It's like when you get a new position, you don't feel like you belong there, or you've had a position for a long time, you don't necessarily feel, like if people knew all the truth about me, they would not feel like, I deserve this position, or that I feel insecure we all feel insecure. So that's kind of the sense that you get, is like, this is imposter syndrome. If I don't, or if I'm like sad on the inside, but projecting this outward thing. And especially people who know you, like if it was your parents or your siblings or a friend or a partner or whatever, they might be like, how come you can act so nice to this person when you're an asshole at home, right? It's like, because your defenses are up, because if you were your most honest self, you get criticized for that, right? When somebody is not feeling great about themselves, they project outward because they can't raise their frequency, and then it goes back and forth. So you become this persona in the certain spaces that you occupy more frequently, and then you're different in other places. It's like, who's the real you? The real you is always the one that wants to be seen for who you are. The one that, like when you overreact to something or you react negatively and you don't want to do that, and then you have to apologize, that's because something else was activating within you. And you can think of these as little personalities, like these defense personalities that you developed young because your parents said something about you, or a friend said something about you, or based on where you grew up and where you lived, that you have this sort of like chip on your shoulder, or you still have this feeling of, it just it all stems from childhood. Okay, so that's all you need to know. And then as you get older, you have the choice. It's like when you have imposter syndrome, if you have it, what people will tell you is fake it till you make it. And that's what it is. That is what raising your frequency is. It's fake it till you make it. It's not about denying parts of yourself. That's if you deny them, then they pressurize inside of you. If you push down parts of yourself that get angry, like the ego and stuff like that, those things are all there for a certain benefit. So let's bust open the cards. Let's go ahead and see what we've got. We're going to start out with the Crow or Murder of Crows Tarot by Corrado Roy. And it's coming out at the Four of Swords. Okay, so we're starting out with some needed meditation, some downtime to separate the thoughts of reactive thoughts to ones that are truly you. Like, where are you not truly showing up for yourself? Okay, and then we're going to go with the Horror Tarot, and we'll see what's at the bottom. I'm going to reveal the bottom of everything first, and then we'll see where to go from there, because I just do things um in the vibe of the day. We've got Six of Pentacles, which is representative of some give and take. But in this guy reminds me of the devil, but he's doing the sign of like what Jesus does, where he's pointing up and down also. I think maybe Buddha does that, but it's to symbolize as above, so below. So when it comes to the equal give and take, it's like as within, so without. You have to be aware of what you are putting out. Okay, let's keep going. We've got Horror Oracle. We actually got 3 Oracle decks that are coming up today. We've got Horror Oracle, and let's see what it comes out at. Escape. And that's kind of, oh man, that's what we do. That's what we do. So this message, I believe, is about escaping the things that we don't want to feel, and we do that through addictions or popping off at somebody. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, we've got this. This is Earth and Bone. All right, Oracle by Syrian Shadow, I believe, is the creator of that. It's coming out on 2 Sage, but there's still more cards in the deck. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take whatever the bottom one is here, and I'm gonna lay it over top of the as like a crossing energy for the Sage, and it is Portal 39 Portal. So it seems like a doorway is not open for you to be able to be seen as a wise sage. There's something closed off. And then let's go to the Herbal Astrology Oracle. Okay. At the bottom, we have 28 Elder Wisdom. So we've got some like a repeating message, like the sage. That's what I think of this as being. All right. So let's talk about what all this means. First of all, I am going to read because let me read the back of the Herbal Astrology Oracle Guidebook. Adriana A. Ayales is a rainforest herbalist, medicine maker, mother, educator, and owner of Anima Mundi Herbals. Adriana started Anima Mundi in Brooklyn, New York, to bring ancient remedies to the modern world. Her heart's purpose is to create a true farm-to-pharmacy experience through the art of medicine making while offering a sustainable system of healing. She was born and raised in Costa Rica and has extensively studied amongst several healing traditions. So the reason why I said that is because I often don't read from the books, but a lot of times, like from this one, I will always read from it so we can learn about this. Because as you can hear, like I'm not feeling bad, but my nose is like congested or whatever. But I have been caring for children who have not been feeling well. And so for this to be like the worst of it is okay with me. All right. So I have been treating them and myself with like elderberry, with garlic, with these natural remedies that we have. If you didn't know, I think is tetracycline antibiotic. Um, but there's a woman named Barbara O'Neill, and she is like, she will give you natural remedies. She has great stuff. Matter of fact, I will link it in this video if you want to watch her video. But she's got some great natural remedies that really do work. Like you put onion on feet of a coughing child, and it's just like natural remedies. They can be like stinky. You have to use them more frequently because that's how nature is. It's like conducive to the body and it cycles. It's not like a prescription where it holds on for 12 hours or 24 hours. Things are not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to use nature as medicine. So, anyway, so I've been using these things, and that's what's been keeping me so well, despite the fact that I've got a little, a little congestion. Let me pause it to find elder. Okay, I wanted to show you this right here because what I was talking about with the Six of Pentacles here was that as above, so below. And it says, as above, so below, as within, so without. Ancient alchemical axiom. It's just one of the greatest things that you can learn as truth, that you can accept as truth. Because we learn a lot of things and we know them, but knowing does not make it so that we embody the truth, okay? Or that we utilize it. But I just wanted to show you that that's a double message of as within, so without. And we really need to hear that because that's kind of the thing of like when you have people reacting negatively in your environment, there's some part of it that you need to reflect on and figure out what did you do wrong? Did you sense it happening? Uh, like, are you doing your part to rectify the situation? And what can you do in the future to make sure that it doesn't happen? I'll tell you what, it's not a bunch of conversations. It is not a bunch of like, um, words don't do anything but talk about the best parts of ourselves. What's the truth is our actions, okay? That's all there is to it. The truth is your actions. So, okay, now I'll pause it again and find elder wisdom, but that for sure is some wisdom. Okay, this is on page 84, which I like to find symbolism in all things, including all numbers. So even though it's a 28 and that adds up, 2 plus 8 is 10, and that's the significance is that it's like the beginning of a new cycle, ending and beginning, right? They usually happen simultaneously, overlap, different things. But 8 plus 4 is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, and that to me signifies strength. It's the first shape, really, that you can form. When it comes to sides, it's like two sides are just parallel lines. Three sides can form a triangle, and that's your first point of strength. And I do believe it's like the strongest shape when I don't know, there's arches and things like that, whatever. But 28 elder wisdom. So this is a truth of strength that you can rely upon. Sambucus nigra, Sambucus canadensis, upright, rising from the underworld, release, letting go, major transformation, higher wisdom, new perceptions, awakening to the truth. Okay, that's what I mean. This is like the truth is as within, so without. Reversed, stagnancy, sorrow, resistance to transformation, immoral, not applying lessons, not widening the known, not cultivating wisdom, decay, negativity, astrological ruler, Jupiter and Pluto. And if you think that somebody else is the reverse energy of that, then it means that it's you somewhere, okay? Also known as the Queen of the Fairies or the Queen of the Underworld, Elder is steeped in folklore and legend across many cultures. This tree is a symbol of sorrow, death, and deep magic. In Scandinavia, the tree is inhabited by a spirit called Heldemor, or Elder Mother, who will punish you if you touch the tree or chop it down without properly thanking her. Okay, but she will allow you to, and that's the thing. Is like I had said it in a previous video that I was saying that the mother is taken out of like religion and a healthy world, and that the best functioning societies are like based on patriarchy. And when my freaking mouth deceives me from what I'm thinking, it drives me crazy because I don't know until I watch the video and I don't edit my videos. So I wanted to reinforce the fact that the healthiest societies, I do believe, are run in a matriarchal sense. And it's not what a matriarchy is that they take their wisdom from the feminine intuition, okay? And then it's it's not that just the men are doing the work in a matriarchal society, but it's that the feminine intuition is what's leading the men towards their purpose or the community towards its purpose. And so it's like if you do wrong by the mother, she's going to punish you, right? But if you ask nicely and if you're respectful, then she'll usually say yes if you think about that, okay? So we need to stop just doing things and wondering why they're not working out well. It's probably because we're being disrespectful in one way or another. All right. In the Bible, the cross on which Jesus was crucified was said to be made from the wood of a giant elder tree, and remorseful Judas hung himself from an old elder tree. In the Middle Ages, elder was used as protection against witches, evil spirits, and underworldly entities. In Celtic tradition, the elder is associated with Samhain or Samhain, a time of year to honor death, new beginnings, and transformation. So I don't know if it's intentional that it's card number 28, and 28 is the adds up to be 10, which is that beginning of a cycle, beginning, ending of a cycle. But that's what it's saying here. It has been used in ancient times as a blood cleanser, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, used for kidneys, liver, and digestive system. It's also used as a respiratory aid to prevent or recover from colds and flus. Astrologically, since elder encompasses the piercing duality of life and death, along with supernatural properties, it falls under the general rulership of Pluto. To properly reap its medicine requires wisdom, and if improperly used, it may cause death. When its wisdom is properly harvested, its strong protective action on the immune system also greatly embodies Jupiter's archetype. And Jupiter is like a bestower of good things. It's like this big jovial planet. Though I don't think that it has complete wisdom, because I do believe that like the story or the myth of Jupiter was that he had like he was not he had issues with his wife. Like I think he was like into like multiple women and not honoring of his wife, you know. So everything has its shadow side. So you have to understand. Guidance. Elder signals the end of a phase in life as well as the beginning of a major cycle. The queen of the underworld reminds us that the symbolic death that visits us often as we progress through physical and metaphysical growth. Elder reminds us of the blooming we experience when we simply allow our old self to decompose. In giving new life, the old one needs to be torn apart and allowed to die. Don't resist it. Elder is a wise guardian, assisting us as we step through the doorways of darkness. Allow yourself to be consumed by her mighty presence as the Dark Mother protects our spirit as it goes through the cycles of transformation. And you can do this in your relationships with people. It's like you have to let an old version of you die out when it comes to trying to foster healthy relationships with people that you couldn't previously. And that's like we have to get over our previous versions of self if we want a better relationship with like our parents or our siblings or whatever. It's like we have to let part of ourselves go. And I had mentioned like there was the title of one of my videos was doesn't a seed die when a plant sprouts, or it was something similar to that. And I'm germinating some seeds right now, or I did germinate them, and the roots started to grow. So I put the seeds in the soil today. And you have to think about that, about these layers, these shells that we have outside of us. That's kind of what we are. And it's like as we start to try to grow our roots into this world as children, we get all kinds of like negative programming because we're told we can't do all the things that we want to do. How often, if ever, do you ever say like, "Hey, can I do this?" and you get a yes right away? It's like the only time you're ever going to get that is if it's like something that the parent wants to do, or you have like healthy parents that understand the nature of saying yes to a child is the most beneficial one so that they learn what they want to learn. They're like little scientists. We all are. And what you learn is that once you start releasing your shell, they're like, this is not what children learn if they're just allowed to just grow and flourish. But think about it. If they're just allowed to start growing and flourishing, then they learn the seasons of life. It's like they become this beautiful plant. It goes through seasons. There's like a pulling back at points of like, anyway, that's a metaphor, but I want to say that don't be afraid of getting rid of your shell. Your shell became this protective thing because you saw that people were not ready for you because of their shells that they're in. So start to break open out of your shell and realize that it can't be a comfortable process because you have to crack and you have to eliminate this outer part of you, and then you're this very vulnerable taproot seedling process. You're in that phase, okay? You don't just pop out in full bloom. You have to go through the darkness, right? This one girl, man, once she her name is the Trap Witch, and I don't know if she still does stuff online on YouTube, but I just love her. And one time she said, sometimes when it feels like you're being buried, you're being planted, okay? And that was one of the greatest things that I could hear in that moment. And maybe I've heard different versions of that before, but that's the benefit of hearing different things from different people. Because if it's a person that you don't like the sound of their voice, you don't like the way that they look for some reason, you don't like their presence in some kind of way, you are not going to take what they're saying and internalize it. Okay. So that is why there's so many tarot readers out here. That's why there's so many teachers out here. That's why life lessons come through sometimes numbers and angels and all these other things that are out there that we can't really be certain of, but you have to have faith in something. So have faith that you like this is the process of thinking about who you are inside and to crack that shell. What I decided I wanted to do is that I'm going to take the top 5 cards of all of these, except for the herbal astrology oracle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then what I'll do is like try to clarify these things. So what we're coming out with, I'm going to show them to you first. We've got the 4 of Swords. We've got, I have to look at them too. We've got the King of Swords. We've got the Knight of Cups. Is it the Knight? No, it's not. It is the Page of Cups, I think. It's, look, if you see, it looks like a knight's helmet, okay? But I think the knights are always on horses. So we've got the Hermit, all right? And we have the 10 of Wands. All right. I'm going to move these other ones out of the way for right now. Okay, it just occurred to me. I had paused and gotten dinner started, so it wasn't just like a brief pause, but it just occurred to me that I don't think I finished what I was trying to say. But when I was saying is tetracycline antibiotic, um, 3 cloves of garlic a day, if you're able to consume them, which you absolutely are like more powerful than tetracycline, if I'm saying it right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. But like I said, I will link the video for Barbara O'Neill. So let's see what we got going on here. It looks like there's a heavy burden on your back. So we're starting out with these 5, and there's feels like a lonely little path to ease that burden. But also it's not, it's like because we have the Hermit, okay? So we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Hermit, and it's like normally in the Hermit card, you have a lantern. Okay. The Hermit has a lantern and a walking stick, which I always see as a wand. So to me, this is a creative way. It's like you're taking this path and you can only go as fast as the lantern light will show you. But with this, it's a crow. The crow is the messenger, right? So this is more of a path. It's not just like on the physical earth. It's more of like in the greater realm of like what is truth and what is not. You have to listen to the messenger that can go through the veil, and that's what the crows are. They like see between the veil of life and death because they consume the dead and sustain life. Okay, so they are these like not transmitters, but they transfer energy. Okay, and then we've got I told you the page, this is a page, which means that he's like walking the path to figure out it's pages are when it comes to the royal court in tarot, pages are the youngest. So they're representative of this childhood stage in life of where you're actually having to walk to move yourself. It's not like you can go and get on the horse and ride, okay? And that's the thing is that you're moving at a slower pace and you're discovering things along the way. And it's like when it comes to emotions and how to kind of understand feelings and things like that, you're better off talking to a crow than you are like looking out into the world to figure out guidance. Okay. And it's also under the moonlight, which tells me that there's something about this being like an intuitive process of going internally. Find that like messenger crow inside of you to figure out you could even use that as an imaginary tool if you want to go and journal about it. You could just like ask the crow, you know, what advice do you have for me? What am I not seeing? Because it's the same thing. It's like, what am I not seeing? I don't have a lantern light to go by. I have the message from the crow to go by. So it's almost like youth. and wisdom or age, youth and age, euthanasia. That's just what it made me think of. Oh my gosh, that's not. But anyway, it's like they're talking to the same crow. It's perhaps that crow has always been with you in this journey, right? It's like from childhood into adulthood, and you've realized that to listen to the crow is really the way to go. Okay, bars. Um, and then we've got the King of Swords and the Four of Swords. And I believe that what this is showing here is that it's like this I was just thinking that this is like that you're not vibing on authority figures anymore of like traditional authority, and you're trying to figure out what to do about that, right? It's like, yeah, he's got a crow and his crow told him what to do, but that doesn't mean that it's the same thing that yours is telling you what to do. So here's sort of this crow showing up again, but it's in this majestic stained glass window type of way, even though it's black and white. I'm sure that you can assume that that's what it is. And it's like this person or whatever has their eyes closed anyway. So they're going on this internal journey. There's nobody else. The crow is not there to actually caw and to speak. It's like he's had the wisdom of this for his whole life. And it's almost like because I'm going to leave it. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. It's that you don't like the way that authority is telling you what to do and how to live right now. And that can be as small as like somebody in your close environment that you don't like it as an authority figure. It can be the internal guidance of what you're being told to do, where it's good advice, but you don't want to hear it and you don't want to follow it. But it's like, but you need to take that time to go within. It's representative of something on the outside as without so within, and so you need to figure out, it's like, where are you out of alignment when it comes to how you give directives? And you need to go in and figure that out. One, two, three, four, five. I did pull five. I was like worried that I wasn't pulling five. All right. So I'm going to take the top five for clarity on this. So this is the horror tarot. Okay. Whether this is relevant or not, it's showing a five of cups. It's showing some sort of sorrow over spilled cups and the lack of acknowledgement over the two cups behind. And that's going to be a natural cycle of things. Always, always, always. It's what we can't see. It's in our blind spots. But I laid these down over top of the other five cards that we had for some additional clarity and a different layer of this story. Okay. So what we've got is we had the 10 of Wands. All right. And that's carrying a heavy burden, but there is this tower moment going on. And it's almost like the tower is not falling. It's almost like it's keeping you safe. There's like a tower of safety that when all this chaos is going on outside, that you have a safe space within the tower, and that is your protection. And that is what is like, let me see. There is a person up in the tower, right? And I feel like that's where you are. And that's almost, so if we want to take it to have a dual meaning, it's when a tower moment happens, it's usually when a tower crumbles. And I think that there is this, it's almost like instead of a tower crumbling, you went into a tower for to escape all of this, to escape all of the heavy burden and go back and think about what it is that you need inside. What is it that you need? Do you need all the burdens that you're carrying? Because I don't think so. So we had the Hermit and we have the Six of Wands coming out over top of that. And the Six of Wands is about being recognized for some sort of victory that you won. It's like this person is on a carousel ride, but they're the only one on it. And so that's the thing. It's like, yeah, maybe they're stuck on that carousel ride, but they're the only one there. And that's the benefit of it, is that like nobody else gets to stay long because they would have to like hold on to a pole or something in order to keep going. But when it comes to the Hermit, it's actually the same thing. It's like this is just another version of the Hermit card almost. You know what this is telling me? It's like she's holding on to the one pole, just like how the Hermit is holding on to this one walking stick. And the way that I see the walking stick is almost like an ace of wands, and that is the guidance. It's almost like an internal guidance by your inner God, okay, that you are holding on to for the right way to go. It's like with her, her horse is taking her where she wants to go, but she's staying on it. And that's the thing, is like everybody's watching her, like it's like they're battling. So when she's holding the Ace of Wands, you've got five other wands behind, right? And Five of Wands is battling. And it's almost like she's not interested in the battle anymore. She knows what she wants. Even if she is stuck on a carousel, it's like she is getting recognized for being herself, for like marching to the beat of her own drum or whatever, you know? Um, and then this guy, it's the same thing. It's like the only thing that he wants to consult with is this crow. That's all he needs. So there's this further clarity of that, because you took this path and you were holding on to that, that you get recognized for holding on to that same thing through battling of other people and turbulence and things like this. So we've got with the six, oh, no, no, no. What was it? The Page of Cups. We've got the Six of Cups. Okay. So we've got childish energy being clarified by childish energy. Okay. And so it's like, hold on to what you learned in childhood when it came to learning about emotions and how people hurt each other. That is one of the most important things. It's not about like pining for the past. It's not about that. It's about, what did you learn about watching this world hurt each other based on when you were hurt, and what that causes you to do in the rest of the world. You are better off to not to be childish in your emotions, but to remember what it was that kept your cup pure. And it was by like just talking to the crow. It's like not going, it's other people will hurt you in the process of growing up. Okay. And she's not sharing those cups with anybody. She's like, they're all mine. And as a kid, sometimes we can be like that until we find a worthy partner that we want to share our cups with. And that's the importance of this. And this girl, she doesn't have eyes necessarily. So she's not really looking for a partner on the outside. But what she could recognize is, because she doesn't have the eyes to judge people with, she can judge a partner or judge who is worthy of her six cups to share, right? So if one stays with her and she's got five others, the Five of Cups was that sorrow, but that sorrow over spilled cups of like things not working out in the past. So if she uses her own personal discernment to figure out who is an energetic match to her, because she gained her like emotional wisdom from the crow, then she knows exactly who to share cups with. And that is people who make her not only feel like a child inside, but feel okay with being who she is. Then we've got the King of Swords being clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. And now that is normally about hard work, but not every king has to work hard to get to that royal position. Okay. So there's something about, it's like what you don't like is the way that they're talking about how you have to work. You just have to work hard. And look at it, just looks so icky in this card. It looks like somebody hurt a tree and the tree is bleeding. And these look like pentacles that would be associated with like witchcrafty type stuff. Okay. It's like all that work was just to hurt the tree. It's to hurt nature. It's to hurt what's good. And that's what you don't like about this right now. It's like you can see that the way that they're leading in this world, it's hurting mother. It's hurting mother nature. Okay. And then we've got that Four of Swords card clarified by the Six of Pentacles card. And what this is when you're thinking about this, when you're stuck in meditation, what you're meditating on is the fact that it's as above, so below. And when it comes to this, like if you are participating in a market by purchasing things that you don't need or whatever, it's like then you are consistently supplying that market, and it's going to keep returning itself to you. So that's how it's like you need to meditate on that. What are you investing in? Because that's what you're going to get more of. It's like if you want to keep investing in conveniences that other people make, and then you want to judge about those things and be like, it's not good enough for this, that, and the other thing. It's like, go back to the mother, right? Go back to the mother. And when it comes to as above, so below, you'll realize, or as within, so without, it's like you have to treat yourself well to have respect for nature. If you have respect for nature, chances are you're treating yourself better. If you are just stuck in a world of like what everybody else is stuck in, then that's what you're going to get back. And so this is where it matters. It's like this kind of looks like what Satan would be, okay? He looks kind of scary, but it doesn't matter what things it doesn't necessarily matter what things look like. It's that what I really do feel like what you're recognizing here is a repeat of this. It's like, what am I going to do with this? where they're saying that you just have to keep your head down and keep working, and you're making the trees bleed because the work that you're doing is just destroying them. And you know that that's not right. And you're trying to figure out, what do I do about it? It's like, I have to realize that the world of money right now, it's all run by, like, I don't want to say Satan, because it's not, I feel like we're all partners in purgatory here, okay? And that's what it is. It's like, I do not believe that there is such a hell as what is conceived of, though I know people have written books. There's one called 23 Minutes in Hell, I think, and I have read that book, and it's very interesting. So I understand why we feel that it's that way, but I do not believe that it really is that. I think hell exists on earth when you can't come into alignment with who you are inside. And that's what this is about, is like, I am aligning to a new way of life. And the give and take that I want to do has nothing to do with pentacles. It has to do with emotions. It's this. It's that give and take of, like, nah, you can't have my cup you unless you vibe with me, right? And I'm also not going to judge it based on how you look when it comes to the emotions. When it comes to money, maybe you should be judging things based on the way that they look. And think about that. Take the opportunity, take the time to actually think about what that means. So I'm going to pull from the Horror Oracle and the top 5 cards to get more clarification. Okay. All right. After I remove the 5 cards, we have trap showing up, and I do think that that is significant. I feel like it's kind of linked with this 5 of cups, that you feel like you're trapped in this thing that you have no control over. And when we were looking at this one, it's like Sage is it's crossing over with this portal door that is not open. It's like it's closed, and you can't. So you feel like you're trapped. You feel like you're trapped where you are. You don't feel like the portal is opening for you. Okay. But we are in an eclipse period right now, where you have to keep consistent in the things that you want to see created in your life as quickly as you can. Now, when things start happening for us in a beneficial way, we are our own worst enemies, and we will have a tendency to reject that somehow, some kind of way. And so, what you need to understand is that you need to just keep moving at a pace that you're comfortable with, and say yes to things that you have time for, or that you have an opportunity for, okay? You are never going to get to where you want to be if opportunities are presented to you and you're like, no, well, I don't know about that. It's like at work, I was being given the opportunity. I was asked by my boss if I could set up, like, displays, like, basically merchandising displays, just to make things look prettier, just so that people had just a beautiful thing to make them feel better. Also, it gives them an opportunity to look and see how things are put together. So it helps them to decide, do I like this or do I not like it? It reminds me of when I was deployed and we were trying to win hearts and minds, even though we were, like, deployed with guns and stuff like that. There was, like, a different approach to it, you know? And so it's like, yeah, we're still in a capitalistic market, but what we're trying to do is, like, if we know that we have customers coming into the store and our hours are dictated by the customers when it comes to the availability for our labor, it's like, we want to create a beautiful space for us and for them, because if they're spending their money there, it means that we have more hours available for our staff, and we're creating a bigger and better environment for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. So it was like yesterday, I think I got started on these things. And yesterday I did not participate in a particular art form, though I try to do some form of art every day. And what it did was, it actually, because I'm, like, manifesting this into my reality, it arrived to me at work. It was a little bit of a challenge. It was something that I had imagined doing previously. It was like, oh, it would be so much fun to put, like, floral displays together for me, like, to make my choices. But anyway, so it's something that I manifested for myself. Now, if I had said no, all my manager asked me was, she asked, like, could you do it? Do you feel like you can? I said, yeah, I used to work at a place where I would do things like that. And I think it's easier for me because I have sort of an eye where I can put it together, but I will nitpick about the thing. And so this is something I'm also working upon, is the release point to where, okay, just get started, do what just get a few pieces put in place, and then move on. And then as you walk back and forth, if you see, like, oh, I should add that, or I should move that, or whatever, but don't get stuck in a trap to where you're obsessing over something that you don't know what the outcome should be anyway. It's like, you have to keep adding to it little by little. If you just try to finish something all at one time, oftentimes it doesn't allow for it to work in the best way possible. Okay. So the first one that we have is escape, and it's escape from the tower. It's like, I think you do want to escape. You want to escape what's going on that is negative in your world that you feel like you do not have the ability to escape from. But sometimes it's like, but at least you went into the tower, to protect yourself. We've got shock over top of the Six of Wands and the Hermit card. And I do believe it's because, okay, I was just thinking about the escape. I'll go back to that. I believe it's because you are actually shocked that you're finally being recognized for it was like you had been negatively recognized for being sort of like an outsider, a loner, a black sheep, that type of thing, like does things differently. And now it's like, oh my gosh, people are actually like listening and saying that I had the right way, that they admire what I was doing, right? Because they're looking at you with the Six of Wands in recognition of what you're doing well. And what you did well was to be your freaking self. Okay. You never let go of that. And this is like the mask. Let's see. Hang on. Oh my gosh, my nose is so itchy. Okay, I was taking a look at everything that's in this card because there's a mask there. There's also a mask here. Okay. There's water, right? Emotions, or like a cup. And there's water going on back here. If you can, it's in the mask. She's in a boat, or he is in a boat. So we've got some water concept. We've also got some like trees going on back there. And we've got this person with a sword. So, I mean, with a knife. So it makes me think that like there's all this stuff going on. There's masking that goes on because of like the way that people use their words instead of using their emotions. Okay. So it's like, it's interesting that there's this real reflective quality about this. And it's like you have to realize that a bunch of people are wearing masks out there because they don't feel safe being who they are. They don't feel safe in that emotional space, or they don't feel, or because they still feel vulnerable like a child, and that is why they wear the mask. And then you've got the water over top of the King of or the King of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. And it's because it's like the answer to this stuff is emotions. It's about getting into the feelings of like where you're not in alignment with what's going on here. It's like water is such a mysterious thing. We just know it as water. Okay, but it's like so mysterious. Why do we all need it? Why do we all It's like what our focus should be on is the freaking water, because everything in this world needs it to sustain life. But not just that. It's like as within, so without. When we're looking at that, it's like the water of ourselves. First of all, we're like 70 to 80% water, right? Okay. And water has memory. If you don't know that, now you know. There's plenty of things to prove that thing. So everything that you're consuming that moves through you, it holds onto its memory and moves through the water within you, and you are made up of those things. So though you feel like yourself every day, you feel like you're the same person every day, you are constantly in transmission, and you are constantly being affected by the one thing that can that has memory, and that is the water. It's because you're mostly made of water. So if you have this like water within from your emotions, and if we want to talk about this in like an energetic sense, the water is our emotions. But how is that in relation to the water that's within your cells and what you're consuming and these things? It's like things are out of balance, and you know that, and you're trying to figure out, how do I fix these things, right? This was like this meditation, and the fact that Six of Pentacles is normally equal give and take, but it seems like in the sense of what is going on in the material world, it's like equal give and take to and from the devil. It's like you're serving the devil and he keeps giving you more of what you want, when really the answer is friendship. And that's where like this situation is. It's like with the Six of Cards, or Six of Cups, and remembering childhood and things like that. It's like you have to truly find friendship. And this is Werewolf in London, I think. And so I believe that like the one friend is a werewolf and whatever. It's like, who could you go to if you had a situation where you like turned into a werewolf, and or you had, it's just like, let's think of it as a hidden secret, or you just are trying to hide your true self because you haven't been accepted, which is like what happens. That's what I was talking about when it comes to like talking to a bird rather than friends as a child because it's better to get your wisdom from there. But it's like who are your friends in this world? That is what makes the world a better place. And that's what you're coming to the conclusion of. It's like, do I really like the people I'm around? Am I even freaking likable? Am I being honest with like, or am I being a player in this game um of money? And all right, so let's take a look. We've got the sage. Let's see what else is going on behind the sage. We've got the roots, flight, and blood moon. I feel like that's all. Well, we got faith right under there. So I'm going to leave it off at faith because it's like if you feel like the portal is not opening to you, you just because you're not feeling it right now, trust me, if you constantly and consistently move towards an outcome, it's like I am always disappointed with how much I can get done in a day. And it's just because in my mind, things don't take as long. I'm like, oh, I can like do all these different things. And so what I'll do is I'll get disappointed by the fact that I can't get all of that done. And then it pushes it, it puts it into like, it lowers my frequency and it makes me not want to approach it the next day because I never know how long it's going to take. Well, that doesn't it's going to take how long it freaking takes. So that's where I've started a different dedication of dedicating my time to the outcome that I want. Like this seems very obvious, but this is something that we all struggle with is we don't know what the investment is going to require of us. So if it doesn't get all done in one day or we don't get that like doorway open to us where we see that it should be, because we think we know what's best for us. It's like you have to look at the sage within you and understand what you're supposed to be doing. Harmony, acceptance, and patience. There's a timing to these things, and it's sometimes it's based on how are you going to keep showing up. Because if you want to throw a hissy fit someday, that might that might shut the door that was slowly being opened, right? But it's like patience and the roots. What I was talking about is like starting roots of new growth. This 10, is it a 10? I'm looking at it. Obviously, it has to be the roots of something new. It's like this tree looks like it's dead. It reminds me of Vecna's little lair when it comes to Stranger Things, if you know what I'm talking about, you know. Um, but like this tree kind of looks like it's dead, okay? But sometimes new growth happens off of dead trees, and that is a cycle repeating. But you cannot bloom if you don't have roots, okay? Period. So you have to go through the periods of first of all, being a seed. Second of all, putting that seed in the soil, cracking it open, sprouting a root, and then being strong enough and nourished enough when you're in the darkness underground in order to sprout up. And it's just the first two leaves, which end up being nothing more than like a source of food for the next growth. And that continues to happen. It's like you can't be sad about everything that you lose. Like, oh, I've lost my seed coat. Now I'm sad. You know, it's like, because you don't need it anymore. All right. Oh, I've lost my first leaves. Now I'm sad. It's like you don't need them anymore. Everything is to continue on, right? It's like flight, it's to move forward. You know, you can't just you can't just start out. You know what this is more about? It's about being in your head because when it comes to like birds and messages and like flight happens in the air, it's about overthinking things and putting your energy into the thought rather than putting your energy into the phase of doing things, okay? And the blood moon, illusion, uncertainty, narcissism. It's like because this is what will get to you. It'll seem scary. A blood moon would probably seem scary, and that is where your flight of fancy will take you. It takes you into scary thoughts. And instead, what you need is faith, okay? The owl is under there, which symbolizes wisdom, independent thinking, enlightenment, okay? I'm not even going to show that card because I don't want to reveal what's underneath it, but it does look like it's got a blood moon behind it. So instead of being scared of the moon, it's like find the wisdom in it, all right? And keep holding on to faith. I like, um, I'm just trying to think, living on a prayer, because Bon Jovi was like my first favorite band. And that's what this reminds me of is living on a prayer. Okay. It's like, it's the only way through. It is the only way through out of uncertainty when it comes to like the wisdom. You have to understand that faith is going to be the only thing that works. But this 14 card, 1 plus 4 is 5. It requires change. Okay. And 5 is a number of change. And it's like, Are you going to change into, I'm not gonna look at what's below the owl. Are you going to turn towards wisdom or are you going to turn towards fear? All right. So we had a lot. I think we can all benefit from the messages that were here today. All right. You are in the midst of a 2 week eclipse portal. You're already like 1 week into it. Keep moving forward. The door is not supposed to be open yet. Okay. Keep moving forward in the things that you care about, even if you don't feel it, even if you feel like things aren't going your way. All right. It's where you are opening the door to the portal. You have to do it by continuing to move forward, or you're not going to be setting yourself up for the lesson that you're learning, which is like that you're going to need that lesson in the future of like sometimes you just got to keep going no matter how difficult things seem. And right on the other side of that door is a whole different room, okay? Whether it's good or bad doesn't really matter. It matters that you know how to keep moving forward. So whether or not you like it, you can move on to another room. All right? I love you. Have a good day. Bye.